Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Kristie with AG Takes Over, and I'm excited to bring this video to you today. When I decided to do a video about organizing doll space, I thought, well, I'll just show what works for me. But for this to actually be valuable to you, maybe that's not the best approach. So it's going to be two parts. In this video, I'm going to ask some questions that hopefully will help people, help guide you to figure out what will work best for you and organize it in a way that works for you. Then in the second video, yes, I will gladly share what works for me. Before we dive in, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and the notification button so you'll know when I post new videos. All right, I know it can be tempting to dive right in without planning when it comes to organization. Everything is so cute and all these storage containers, you might not even know what you want to use them for yet, but they look impressive, or there's a temptation to copy what other people do, but it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. So I spent a lot of time looking at quizzes online to help give you some insight into your organization style. And one of them that I liked was on the Family Handyman website. I'll go ahead and link that quiz in the description. But when I answered the questions, the results were spot on. In the interest of accessibility, I'm going to go ahead and read this description. It is the Practical Organizer. It says, this is me, totally. You organize to make daily life more efficient, but if a space is out of sight, it's often out of mind. You're a bit reactive when it comes to organizing, which usually works fine. A small mess motivates you to take action. The trick is to stay ahead of the clutter so it doesn't become overwhelming. You likely don't have the patience for showy organizing, such as decanting items into jars, so stick with quick, easy access, clutter-containing helpers like Pretty Bins and Lazy Susans. Yeah, in part 2 of this series, you're going to see that's 100% me, but maybe it's not you. So I intentionally changed up my answers and retook the quiz and got a different type. This is the Sentimental Organizer, and I would hazard to guess that this is my wife. So the Sentimental Organizer, it says, decluttering does not come naturally, and it's rarely at the top of your to-do list. You'd rather spend time with your friends and family and collecting a few more mementos while you're at it. You don't really notice clutter until you can't find something important or you forget an appointment, but then it's hard to know where to start. Try this. Start small, decluttering items that aren't so sentimental, and continue to keep your top favorites out where you can enjoy them. Repeat with regularity. Adding declutter sessions to your calendar helps. Even a little bit less stuff will help make home life more relaxing. Totally overwhelmed? Reach out to a friend or a professional organizer for help. Here's another one. There were more than 3, but I'm just showing 3 of them. So this was the Perpetual Organizer. You love organizing because it helps you stay on top of your very full life. You also love how an organized space looks. Baskets, acrylic drawer organizers, and clear containers filled with pretty supplies makes you giddy. Your biggest organizing challenge is striving to keep it perfect. When you start to feel like you're constantly working for your home, adopt this mantra. Declutter more, acquire less. The fewer things you have, the less time you'll spend organizing it. So, I can relate to aspects of this. I do love how an organized space looks, but I definitely spend more time living in my home than organizing it, so this is not me. Again, maybe it's you. No right or wrong answers. There were several different personality types or organizing types, and it might be helpful to take this. I think the biggest thing is finding out what type you are, not what type you wish you were, and working with that. So next is, who is this for? Are you an adult collector who only displays your dolls? Are you someone whose joy comes from doll photography or creating displays that you can see regularly throughout your day? Are you someone who plays with their dolls in a more traditional way? In our case, there are 2 adult collectors in the home and 1 doll-obsessed toddler. So we have chosen to have one space always accessible to our daughter, and then the bulk of the items are in a different closed-off space where the kiddo can only play with them when we are supervising. So it's still kid-friendly, but the things that we are more protective of are protected. Another good question to ask yourself is, how much doll stuff do I actually have? If everything is spread out, or if you've been engaging in some retail therapy, you might not really have an accurate sense of how much stuff you have. And you need to get an accurate sense of it. If you have several larger ticket items, it might be a good idea to get a tape measure and start taking stock of how much space they take up. The logical next question is, how much space do I have for all this doll stuff? The answer might seem obvious, but maybe there is some hidden real estate in your home. Maybe you could store dolls higher up on a longer shelf, or storing clothing in totes that fit under your bed. Shifting things around in an existing area to free up some space. It's not a time to be delusional, but yeah, go ahead and indulge in some out-of-the-box thinking to make sure that you're considering all possible spaces. An equally important question is, what's your plan for your collection? Are you a parent whose child is starting to outgrow their collection or outgrow their interest in dolls? Are you a teen who's going off to college? Are you downsizing and moving into a smaller apartment, or moving to a bigger space than you're usually in? And when you think about the future of your collection, do you see it continuing to grow? Or do you need to downsize it? Or is it stable? Is anything going to be going into long-term storage? And you don't have to know the answers to all of these things right now, but when you're ready, you can come back and rewatch this video. Or if you are ready right now, you can pause and grab a notebook, digital or old school, and just pause as you need to record your thoughts. Next, does your storage need to be mobile? Let's say you have a guest room that doesn't get used all that often, and there's some storage space in there. You might be able to store clothing and accessories in there, but that's not the space where you or your children are going to interact with the dolls. So you might put some storage totes or small bins or whatever on a rolling piece of furniture so that it's easier to move things from point A to point B back and forth. Also ask yourself, do I need all my storage in one room? If you have enough space, you might benefit from not having everything in one space. In our case, we intentionally don't have everything in one room. So the larger ticket items are in the basement where a toddler can't get to them, but we rotate them out about once a month so that the doll room always has something quote unquote new that we can enjoy. If you have a small space and you really do need all of your doll collection to be in one room, you may need to stop growing your collection, or even think about downsizing it and keeping only the things that spark the most joy. Do you need an inventory? Do you need some sort of digital catalog to keep track of what you have and where it is? I'll try to remember to include it in part 2 of this, but we use the tote scan for some of our stuff because we purchased some Willy Wisher items to hold back for our daughter. We just happened to find them for a really good price, but she's not ready for all of them right now, so we're holding them back until she's a little older. So with Tote Scan, we can be in a store, see a Willy Wisher item, and go, did we already get that for her? And I don't have to rely on my memory. I can just check my phone and know for certain. Maybe you have a child who's heading off to college, and you want to tour some things long-term, or maybe they're still at home, but they have outgrown dolls, at least for now, and you want to hold them back. Or maybe you do some reselling and you need to easily know what you have and where it is. So, aside from needing organization in general, what are your other priorities? Is it more important to you that your storage approach be cost-effective, or aesthetically pleasing, or more environmentally friendly? Those are not mutually exclusive, by the way, but if you know what thing is most important to you, that might guide you in one direction or another. So to recap, here are the questions that I think can help get you on the path to organization that works for you. What is my organization style? Who is this space for? How much stuff do I have? How much space do I have? What is the plan for my doll collection? Does my storage need to be mobile? Do I need everything in one room? Do I need an inventory for it? And aside from just the general need for organization, what are my priorities? In my next video, I will walk you through my approach and explain why it works for me. I hope that this is helpful, and just keep an eye out for the next video. It'll be up in just a few days. Take care, and thanks for watching.